tools and the categories of the tools that we have. We have the first category as selection, as you can see. Then we have the second one as retouching. So Photoshop grouped them into 4 parts, and the 5th part is meant for foreground color and the background color. I think we. So then the first part, just like I discussed last time, we have the selection. Then the second one is retouching. The second one is retouching. Then the third one, which is drawing, and we have the fourth as navigator. Some people are coming in, so let me just quickly allow them in. Okay, we welcome you guys. So now today we want to discuss more on move to. More on move to, then we move to the next two. So basically, this is what we're going to create today. I'm not going to waste your time. Then I'm not going to rush you because we have new beginners in the class. So I don't want it to be as if, oh, I can't cope, then I have to leave. So this is what we are going to create. And we are going to create a 3D box with move to. Don't forget, last class we discussed about how we can select a layer, then how we can use Control T. If you're using a Mac, that's Command T to transform, and you can see the nodes around the layer. Then, whereby if you right click, but before you right click, you can easily do some shortcuts with your mouse. If you move your mouse a little bit outside, you will see that there is a 2 bent arrow at the edge, then which I can easily rotate. Then if you want to transform or you want to scale down, you can use the edge by clicking and dragging it down. You can see that. Then if you want to rescale something like this, but if you're using lower version, if you want to scale diagonally, that is, while scaling one part, you want the other side to be affected, you have to hold on shift. But if you are using what's it called? If you are using newer version, which is from 2020, we have Photoshop 21 now, then you are to just click and drag. Just click it and drag. So therefore, but if you want to use additional options, you right click on your layer, while on move to, then at the end of the day, you right click after pressing Control T. After hitting Control T or Command T on your keyboard, then you see scale, rotate, then screw. We have screw. Screw is for you to just screw your job this way. They are useful, but before the end of the class, we'll talk more about that. Then we still have something we call perspective. Don't forget, we discussed that as well, whereby you have this perspective look as if there is a board and you're at the edge of the board and it looks this way. So then we also have distort, but basically I always love to use distort because it can do perspective. I can create it, I can adjust and make it to look as if it's a perspective. At the same time, I can scale it down. Then at the same time, I can do whatever I like with that. I think I love this dots. So the next one is rotate 180 degree, which is going to flip it upside down. Then we have rotate 90 degree clockwise. We've discussed that. We just have to, talk about that before we move on. So this time around, we want to do this 3D box, and I want you to get familiar with I think someone is okay. Let me just admit that in. So let me pull out my layer doc here, layer panel here, so that we can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to open a new document. So I will advise you guys to do that as well. Let me confirm the placements. Okay, let me undo. Okay, so open a new document, then make sure that you have your unit as pixels. So I love using pixels because sometimes I would like to post it on the Instagram. You know, Instagram is it comes in square shape. So I'm using 2000 by 2000 pixels, then 72 as resolution. The reason why I'm using 72 is because if you use 300 and you post on your Instagram, Instagram is automated to change that resolution to 72. So then you will lose the quality of your job. So I love using 72. Then when you post, I have a larger file. This is almost, let me change it to inches. This is almost like 27 inches. So it's going to squeeze it in. It's going to squeeze it in to the size of the frame. Then I will have a sharper image. That's how I do my job. Then if you look at my Instagram page at BenemaCreativ, you'll see that most of my job are sharp. So that's how I do it. So now create. Then let's wait for that. I think I have a lot of jobs on my system. Then it have to load a little bit. Okay. You're welcome, you guys. The pre, right?
Yeah. Sorry,
All right.
I missed the last thing coming back, as in making your stuff sharper. You were saying something.
All
I
right.
missed that.
Yes, I said if you open a new document,
Yes, sir.
I'm talking about the size of my frame and the size of my designs, posting it on
Yes, sir.
Instagram. Then
Yes, sir.
if you use the resolution, if it is higher than 72,
Yeah.
do you understand? If you post it on Instagram, the app will automatically change it to 72, which is going to
Okay.
reduce your pixels.
Pixels. Okay.
Do you understand? So
Okay.
since the app only recognizes 72 as any picture posted, then you have to increase the width and the height. So I'm using 2000 by 2000 pixels for that.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Okay.
But
Okay.
2000 is a larger file. It's almost like 27 inches. Do you understand? So it's going to
Okay. Yeah.
compress, it's going to, squeeze it into the frame.
Into the frame. Okay.
Do you understand? Then you have a sharper image. That is the reason
Okay.
why I have sharper image on my Instagram page at BenemaCreativ. Do you understand? So now let's go back to what we want to do. So today we want to create something like this 3D. Let me move my layer back. So I want to create something like this. So, and we want to really discuss about layers. Just like I said, what we're about to discuss today is how to use Move To, how to get familiar with layer panel, and how to transform a layer, which we've talked about in the last class, which is Control T. to transform your layer. Then how to place a layer as a smart object. Then the next one is smart object attributes. While lastly, we are going to check in between smart object layer and rasterized layer. So are you with me, guys?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, yeah. So now
Yes, sir.
let's go on. So you can mute and so that it won't distract others. All right, thank you. So now let's go back to my new layer. So now I'm going to import a layer. Now there are two ways to import your layer. Now I'm going to place embedded. Just go to file menu, then click place embedded. You can just bring in any picture from your system. I don't know if you have your personal picture, just go through them. And let me just check if I have any picture in my, on my picture. Okay, let me use one of my students here. Okay, then placing this picture into this document, we automatically change this document or this layer into a smart object. Now I have to go up here, which is on my option bar. If I say option bar, just know that it is a bar under file, edit, which is the menu. Then just confirm your placement. So either way, you can use enter, just press enter on your keyboard. Now, the difference between your layers, which is rasterized layer and um, and what is it called? Rasterize and the smart object is this. So on the thumbnail of your layer, you will see that we have an icon. The icon looks like a paper that has a bent at the edge. Do you understand? So this one is a smart objects layer. So we'll talk more about that. And this one is rasterized layer. Now let's discuss the difference between the two. Now look at this image. Now on my layer panel, you can see that it has that icon. So that icon means this one is a smart object. Now let me open the same picture. I want to open the same picture, but this time around, I'm not using place embedded. I'm going to open it direct. So click open, then open the document direct. Then I have this picture. Then I want to drag this picture. You can see my panels, which is the document panels here. Then I want to move this picture. I will click on it and drag it into the next panel, which is the document I'm working on earlier. So you can see that the file is large, meaning that the file is very large. Then I want to reduce it to that same actual size. So let's reduce it a little bit. Okay. Now, check this out. On my layer panel, you can see that on my layer panel, I don't have any icon. So it looks so flat, just like the one I showed you on this document. You can see that there is no icon here. This is rasterized layer, and this is smart object layer. What is the difference? Let's quickly look at the difference. Now, this my file. Let me go to image and resize. You don't need all this, but I just want to quickly explain something. The resolution is 72. Then I will turn it to let's say 10 10 resolution, which is pixels per inches. Now the file is going to be, reduced. Now let me blow it. Now you can see that it affected the two files. One is smart objects. The one at the left is smart objects. You can see it on the layer panel. Then the other one is rasterize. Now, smart objects, you can't destroy it. You can't even retouch. But on rasterized layer, you can retouch and you can tamper with it. You can do some painting on it. If I choose any of this painting tool or any of this retouching tool, you can see that I have a stop sign. Then if I select the layer, which is the what is it called, the rasterized layer, then you can see that it's working. I can retouch. But on the smart objects, I can't retouch. Now, let me go back to image size, then increase it back to 72. Let's see if they will gain their property back. Now, you can see that this file has been destroyed and it can regain the property, while the other one still maintain the quality. So that means that smart objects cannot be destroyed. So that is one. Then again, let me delete the what's it called? Let me delete the rasterized layer. Then I want to duplicate this particular layer. So if you want to duplicate, you press Ctrl J and you'll see a copy on your layer panel. Then I will move that copy to this side. Now look at this. A smart object on the thumbnail, if you double click on it, it will open another document. This document is a template on its own. Then I will go back to where I bring this picture from. I brought this picture from. Then I will place another picture on it. I'll place another picture on it. Then I want to replace that particular picture with this. So I'm going to scale it up a little bit. Then because this image is just one, then I have to make it one again, which is I have to flatten the image. If you don't do that, if I save, it's going to complain and it's not going to save on my document. So I have to flatten it, right click on that particular layer or any of the layer, then flatten the image, then save. Now I'll close this template layer, template document. Let's wait for it to update the original file. Now you can see that it affected the two. It affected the two layers. Now let's do another magic. Reduce this layer a little bit. Then let's place it. Then choose one of this layer. Then duplicate. If you hold Alt on your keyboard and drag, it's going to duplicate that layer. Then this part, the third layer, let me change it to 3. Let me change the name to 3. Then let me change this one to 2, and let me change this one to 1. So the third layer, I will right click on it on the layer panel. Then I will rasterize that layer. So now let me go back here to layer 1, then double click on the thumbnail. I just have to explain this before we go into the 3D box so that you can understand how it operates. So place embedded, then let me look for a picture in here. Okay, let me choose this picture. Let me choose this picture. Don't forget that on that particular document, we have two smart objects. We have okay, I didn't close this particular layer and document. So now we have 1, 2, 3, same image, but we have rasterized this particular one. This particular one, we have rasterized it. Then here we have smart objects, a copied one. Then we have the original one here. So that means this one has been disconnected from the smart object. Now this is the smart object I'm working on. Then I want to replace it with this picture. Then I have to right click on it, then flatten that particular image, because initially the image has been flattened. So you can't make any other 2 layers under that same smart object template file. Then I have to flatten the image, then save. Let me save. It's updating the document. Then close this. You can see that the 2 changes, but the 2 files change, but this one does not change because this one is rasterized. Hope you guys get me well. Now, let's now do some magic. Now, just know that you can destroy this layer, which is smart objects, but you can tamper with this. Then the second one is that if you duplicate a smart object in one particular document, then you double click on the layer thumbnail, and it opens it as a template file or template document in another document. Then if you update that document, it will affect the copied smart objects. Now, before we go on, can let me just welcome some question so that I will know that, okay, you guys understand what you're doing. You can unmute or you can raise your hands up and then ask some question before we move on.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So is there any way to retain a smart object without affecting the copied smart object? If I copied one
Yeah.
now, is there any way to make changes to that one I copied without
Affecting the
necessarily
second one.
affecting the second
That
one?
means you have to convert it to rasterize.
Rasterize.
You have to rasterize that layer. Do you understand? So that is the reason why this is not it's not connecting to the other.
Okay. Okay, I can rasterize, then convert back to smart object.
To smart object, yes, it will disconnect.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Can we move on? No, any other question? Okay, I admit that there's no other question. So now let's create a box.
Sorry, I have a question.
Okay, all right.
I have a question.
All right.
Okay. Good evening.
I'm Sonny. All right.
Class.
You're welcome.
My question is, when you were opening the file, I already dropped the question as a chat, but maybe you didn't see it.
Oh, yes.
When you were opening the file,
all right.
If we check that where you wrote RBG something, RBG column mode or something like that.
Okay.
There was a place where we have 8-bit, 16-bit, something like that.
Yes.
I wanted to ask that what's the essence of that 8-bit thing?
Okay.
Does it matter?
It matters. It affects your file, the size, the resolution, and the pixels. 8-bit is lighter than if I turn it to 16-bit. Even though if I move the file, your system memory may not be as fast as to process that document. Okay. But the 16-bit is meant for photographers. That's the reason why you see some pictures coming out so sharp, because they shoot at RAW. They call it RAW file. Do you understand? Then when they want to edit, it will show the pause, the skin pause.
Okay.
If they are editing in 16-bit. So that means the resolution is ×2 of what you have presently. Do you understand that?
I understand, sir. I
All
understand.
right.
Thank you.
So, all right. Yes. Do we have any other question? Okay. If there is none, can we move on?
Yes, we can move on.
All right. All right. Okay. So now we want to create a 3D box. So this is the origin of what we call a mock-up. If you see any mock-up comes with smart objects. So that is the reason why you see that when you double click, you update the smart object, then it will update the original file. Now let me do a little bit magic here. Now let me import this particular picture. Let me place it. We call it place embedded. Then this is the first picture. Then I have to make 3 copies of this, but let me just make 1 copy. Now here, the second copy, I don't want to see it. These eyes indicates visibility of your layer. Then if I click on it, I won't be able to see it. So I want to work with this. So I want to create a 3D out of this, a box. Then I will press Ctrl T. Then I love using distort because it covers all scaling, perspective, and others. So now I want to create a 3D coming out this way. I think I've painted too much. Okay. Now let me bend this way. Okay, let's do it this way so that I won't scatter your brain a little bit. Okay, now let me draw it down. I'm holding on shift so that my hand will not shake. I'm holding on shift. Let me draw it down. Okay. Now I'll have to scale it down a little bit. I'll confirm that. Then I'll scale it. So I hold on Alt so that it can scale in diagonally, that is at all sides. So, okay. Now let me duplicate, which is Ctrl J. Then I will have to align the edges. After that, Ctrl T. Then I will hold on Control so that my hand will not shake. Then move it up a little bit that way. Okay. Then I will go to the first one, Ctrl J, duplicate. Okay. Then before then, let me just Ctrl T, then move this one down. I'm holding on Control. So place it at the edge, then scale it. No. Let me use distort. Okay. Then scale this one down. Don't forget that I'm working on the smart objects. Okay. Then I will select the 3 together. I will hold on shift on my keyboard, then click the second and the first, then Ctrl T, then to scale. I will hold on shift because I'm using a newer version of Photoshop. If you are using the older version, you don't need to hold shift. Okay, I think this corner is not perfect. So I have to right click. I have to click, then right click, distort. And let me pull it up a little bit. Okay, I think it's perfect this way. Now look at this. Then don't forget that we have a copied here. So we can use this copied smart objects to replace the other 3. Now double click on this. Don't forget that we have this image already. I don't know. I think this image is very big. It's very large. That's why it's taking too long to open. Okay, let's just wait for that. don't forget that smart objects, when you double click on the thumbnail, it will open as an extra document, which the document is going to be in a template file. It's not original file. So it's going to be active as long as there is light on your system. So now let me replace it with another picture. Let me replace it with another picture. So I'm going to replace it with this picture, or let me use this lady. Okay, please. Then increase. Then don't forget, right click on this and flatten the image. Then you save the document. You save the document, then you close. Then as you can see that the smart object has updated itself. So if you want to do a if you want to create a mock-up, you use a smart object to create it. And don't forget that all this bending, all this distort, or all this transformation was made on that particular picture. And at the end of the day, when I updated that smart object, we have it updated on others. So thank you for coming for today's class. Then I would like to entertain some questions before I end the class. Any question? Let me check this message.
Thank you for the class, sir. I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, this is actually a wow for me. Like, this is the first time I'm seeing something like this. I never knew it was possible to
Wow.
work with smart objects up to this level.
All right.
My question is that when you were doing that distort, when you did the first one,
Yes.
I got it. I got the first one and the second one.
Okay.
But that one that you put on top, you
Okay.
copied the first one and then you bend it down somehow. I didn't know how you bend. I didn't know what angle you bent it from. Then
Okay. If you use distort, do you understand?
yes,
If you use this
yes,
distort, if I click on my layer, then press Ctrl T, I think we have is it 6, 7, 8? We have 8 nodes around your layer.
yes.
So if I hold on this and pull it, you can see that it scale it up. That one will
Yes.
scale it up. Then if I right click and use distort, so it's going to affect that angle alone.
Okay.
Do you understand? So that is what I used. Now let me delete the other 2 layers. Okay, let me confirm the placement. Now let me select. You can right click on your layer, then select. I'm not using, some people might be using auto select. I don't use that
Okay.
because most of my layers can fall on each
Overlap.
other. Then
Yeah.
it's going to affect other layers. So I'm not using auto select. So now select this, then you duplicate. Do
All
you
right.
understand? Since I want this angle, which is the left hand side, to align, then have to align that using my arrow key. Then
Okay.
Control T, then right click and distort. Then I will bend that corner. Do you see that?
Okay. Yeah, I got that
Then
one. I got that.
so the other one, Control J to duplicate. Then align the top. I mean, align the, make sure that you align the base with the top of that layer. Then Control T, then right click distort. I will pull it from here, not from here. I have to pull it
Okay.
from the top and bring it down. Do you
Hmm.
understand? To lap on that.
Okay.
So any other question? I think
Clear. It's clear.
you're satisfied, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So do we have any other question? I think the pre, do you get that? Olawale.
Okay. Benema,
Yeah.
I got the top now, but
All right.
the very first one, yeah, the very first one. Just go back to the very first one again.
The first
Just
one,
the first
which
one.
is this one, right? Is it this
Yes.
one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is okay. Let me just bring in the picture. If this is the picture, the first picture, you see that, then you can just Control T, then right click distort. Just pull it down.
Distort.
Distort. It's just distort.
From the middle, right?
Not from the middle. From the middle of the right hand side. From the middle
Hand
node.
side, yeah.
From the middle node.
Middle node, yeah.
This node. Just pull it down.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. So I will advise most of you to just do it and send it to my WhatsApp. Then I will create a group very soon. Then we guys will share ideas together. So, any other question? I welcome Adepegba Olariwaju, Obaro, Richard, and Sadiq, Taufik, Rilwan. I welcome you guys. Thompsoni, I think I'm going to end the class right now.
All right.
Because there's no question. All right.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll send our samples to the group.
All right. All right. Thank you so much.
But we've not been added yet, though.
Yes, I will create it now. I'll create it now.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
You're welcome.